Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Evolve with Titans. And today's Titan is Charles. I can't tell or describe Charles in one or two things because he dons a lot of hats. To start with, he's a light design engineer. It is exciting by itself, but also he's a founder of Chennai Art Theatre and he's very famous in the art scene of Chennai. And he also runs Mithran Foundation. A founder, a light designer, art specialist, theatre specialist. There's so many things that we can talk to Charles today. So I welcome Charles today for this Evolve with Titans, where we sit with the best in so many different fields and get to learn from them how they do what they do. So welcome, Charles.
Thank you. Thank you for having me in the show, and thanks to the whole team and you.
Charles, so like I said in the introduction, there are so many things that you do, right? And I want you to explain the different things or list out the different things that you do in the descending order of the amount of time that you spend on each of these.
Okay. So as of now, I do like lighting design and execution for the dance shows, stand-up shows, and theatre shows in Chennai and India and abroad as well. So with a lot of people. Then we started hosting Chennai Art Theatre to produce shows because you work with lot of teams and groups and individuals as a lighting designer. Then you slowly build your own vision of okay, let's do this way and we can do that way. Then you don't have that much freedom to explore in other people's shows. Then I thought, okay, why don't we design our own shows in a way we wanted to do it technically and as well as the curating part of it. So that's why we started hosting arts management company at Chennai Art Theatre. Then recently, like we launched a black box called Medai. It's a 150-seater and especially for live performing arts, nothing else. And so that is three things which we are right now we are doing it. So yeah.
Super. So I know you're the man behind all these stand-up comedies, Alexander.
Yes.
Alex.
So I do. Initially, I started with Avam with all the comics pretty much. Then that time everybody was pretty much in the Avam. Alex, apart from essay, I guess. So then later on I started doing for essays. I was not ready. Then I did almost 80 shows of Alex in Wonderland. And also essay also did 100 shows. Out of that we did some 80 shows, 60, 70 shows here in there. And rest of it they did a foreign tour. So
yeah, and I'm personally intrigued with the Shivratri show.
Yeah, yes, Sadhguru's show. That Sivaratri, I did. There's a dancer called Divya Nair, and she works there in Sanskriti. So Sanskriti has an internal program, part of Isha's. That also I did the lighting. Then the major finale festival, which where all the art forms takes for the whole night for the Sivaratri. So part of that I did 2 shows with them.
That's amazing, man. For people who are watching out there, right? How will you explain light design? Like, because this is something very different. As a photographer, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Like, how do you first? How do you explain this? And then second, how did you bump into this?
Yeah. So the first thing is like nowadays because of the technology. So whoever has a camera and they take photo, they call themselves as a photographer. Then how do you differentiate the professional and the person who takes pictures? The same goes with the lighting as well. So whoever behind the console or they just happens to be on the console, they call the lighting designer. So that kind of differentiate is not much there in the professional circuit itself. So lighting design is something which you specially design for it. Let's say you are a dancer and you are showing your rehearsal for me. So this is what it is. I'll do this. I wanted to say my story this way and this way. And all those things, then I'll sit through a couple of rehearsals and from that I'll create a design for it. So okay, this is what it is. So for a recent performance with Divya Nair, and she was saying, okay, I want to create a water on stage through the performance. So I'm showing a lot of water sequences. How do you going to do it? Then we'll sit and create the water effect on stage. Then okay, then Shiva comes with multiple colors and things. Then we want to create that particular image of pretty much like a photography where you do the recce shoot. Okay, this is how we do, location is this and lighting is going to be this. So similar to that. So every dance show, for an example, Chitra Dasarathi from Roots, she did a production called Roots, and she said from ground I need only 6 feet of light. Above that it has to be completely dark.
Oh.
So from the floor we have measured exactly 6 feet and we kept the lights only in 6 feet. So when you show watching it above, there is nothing. So
Okay.
only 6 feet every dancers are I mean like pretty much they are on the knees and doing performance. So we design lights accordingly to the whole. Every production comes with the script, comes with the interesting notes saying dancers and everybody work with it. So whereas I have collaborated with Akram Khan Dance Company and they have a design in such like there is a only circle of lights. So everything happens in the circle of lights. The design in such a way. So while in the rehearsal process you tend to work with dancers or theatre people, and whereas I did a show called Bad Hindu, and the only place the Bad Hindu the lights over here only pretty much the whole show pretty much it only will be this much.
Oh.
Then every space is empty.
So we'll go one level deeper because I don't know anything about this, especially in classical and all these dance forms. Rehearsals, yes, almost it'll be following a flow.
Yeah.
And then on the performance, they'll actually innovate and they'll
improvise
do a little improvise, right? So it is programmed by time or how is it?
So it's programmed, but not by time. It's manually. So I'll be programming it because there is a huge difference between Indian lighting designers and abroad designers is programming with the timing. There we will do programming, but not with the timing. Because for them it's like they have like rehearsals for 6 months. They'll do exactly like tuck the light comes in. Okay, dancers also will be in feet. But by the time for our thing, the Sabha secretary will be talking to them while they have to come to the thing. And there's a lot of distraction.
Oh.
So for us to queuing exactly, the dancers are ready. It's nothing to do with the dancers. But whereas we don't even get a tech rehearsal day for the show, that itself are rare for us. For a season and all, 6 to 7 will be one dancer, then 7 o'clock is the other dancer. You will get like 5 minutes to set up the lights. Okay, time much. That's all we get. Whereas we have the ability to do it, but we don't have the time, resources, and people say, "Oh, lighting தான பண்ண போறீங்க பண்ணுங்க போங்க அதெல்லாம் என்ன இருக்கு time." So we don't have.
So are there schools or are there courses for light design?
Yes, NSD National School of Drama Delhi has a school, and in Bangalore Art Gallery is teaching it, and there is a lot of schools. I mean, like not in Chennai much. But if you have like other areas, it's like a lot of schools and like London, everywhere like there is a lighting schools and training schools. I was exposed this all of it from Mithran Devanes, my mentor. He passed away in 2010. One was the theatre veteran. He's a lighting designer and like he's a famous director and everything. So he met me in one of my hostels. So from there I was adapted to his thing.
Oh.
So he was not my legal father to say terms wise. I was adopted son to him. So so Mithran then adapted from my hostel from Veperi. From there only I got to travel with him. He exposed me to theatre, dance, music. I mean pretty much everything to life whereas in my age. So from my school days I was kind of
with him. Okay. So that's how you get introduced to stage and lighting and all that. So how important was that period?
Mentorship. Yeah. I mean like, we pretty much don't know nothing. I mean still don't know much, but we are still learning every day. But that time during school days you are exposed to being like watching Little Theatre Pantomime. He is doing sets and lights and you're very fascinated where you see Revati on stage. So you think, oh, this is a different kind of world. So you only seen it in movies, but a lot of people are acting in it. Like every actor acts in Little Theatre Pantomime pretty much. So that time, the first show which I saw in Egmore Museum, I was blown. So, okay, there is apart from cinema, there is theatre, there is like poetry, exhibition, everything. We are not much exposed to all those things. So I think pretty much the whole exposure and learning everything. So I used to assist him, carry his bags and go everywhere with him and buying tea and everything we do, I mean like for him. So that's where like Mithran will not teach you, he will keeping, I mean like you'll be with him, so you will learn pretty much because he'll be very focused on this thing and here and there will say, okay, this is what it is, this is how you do it. But being with him, you kind of started learning, okay, this is how theatre. So he himself like started as a sweeper in stage like 30 years ago in his times. So then we used to do taping like this initially for the stage. Then I was doing backstage with Mithran. Then we were ushering and then he started saying, okay, now you're promoter, do sound now. So we'll do sound, then slowly get into lights.
So, from the experience that you gained from him, right? Like, how do you see mentorship, or how important is mentorship? And now you will have some people under you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What are the aspects that you learn from him that you impart to these people?
See, there is a famous quote where Mithran used to say, so 7 o'clock is the show. So when are we ready? We are ready at 6:59. So he keeps improvising. Okay. And then he'll say, set in the color serilas, just do the different color. He'll say at around like 5:30, he'll do. So very perfectionist he is, and to the core, and keeps, and the thing. And also, okay, let's say we are taping this and we are doing this furniture, it has to be on the thing. So the perfection and to the work and precisely timing and everything you learn from, pretty much everything you learn from him. And they're very karar about punctuality, timing, and all those things. Things in the way that this is supposed to do na, that is only way to do it.
So I want to go back to the point that you said everybody who picks up a camera is a photographer now. Everybody which with the light console is a lighting designer now.
I mean, in a sense, like if you see Sabas, no, Sabas will hire a person, not a lighting person. He will be a or employee, saying a monthly salary, but he will operating the lights and sound.
True.
But then our
So how important is that mentorship? Let's say a college student watching this, how important is mentorship to him to go through this process for light design?
Mentorship, in a sense, like you're learning very practically and theoretically both in mentorship. Like otherwise we'll go over an institution where we'll only get like that kind of a theory. Then practically there is a completely different ball game, because there is a lot of issues to handle and sort it out. So whereas my mentor have like he will tell you, okay, this is book, you just go through this, and tomorrow we will do a show also. But what you are reading in the book and the show will be completely little different. But you tend to get both from whereas like my mentor, he teach you ground reality, and this is how things work. But whatever you see in abroad, yes, you'll take that inspiration and do it. But here, despite of our circumstances, you have to adapt, and you can't do the same thing here because the things doesn't allow you. Even your theatre artists and dancers, they'll get like little insecure. What you're saying, what you're going to execute, I don't have time for this. So there is plenty of constraints are there. So that mentorships, when you do it, you'll get both the theories together pretty much. I think more ground work you'll learn from them.
So I want to pick on that mentorship part, because you were with an expert, right? You were with an expert who was in stage for so many years.
Yes, yeah.
If you can tell me like 3 things or 5 things that I learned from this person, I would not have learned from books or school. What would that be?
So the first thing will be time, punctuality, because one day I just came at 1 minute. He was taking a car in the gate, and I said, "This is 1 minute. 4 o'clock you are supposed to be here. It's 4:01." So yeah, I'm not taking. We just left. So punctuality is Mithran's core thing. Second thing is Mithran says read your script before the cues and learn from the person, but do your original things, improvise on it. The third thing is for Mithran's thing is like this is balancing thing. He's a very fun person. He says don't work all the time, either don't do party all the time, just have a balance to it. So then you will be you'll able to enjoy. The fourth thing he constantly says, enjoy the process. Otherwise people doesn't appreciate. Sometimes you put so much effort, people say நல்லாவே இல்லை ஏதோ பண்ணியிருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு. So either results comes good or bad, you enjoy the process. So otherwise you will be burnt out. Okay, நான் நல்லா தான் பண்ணேன், not appreciating, nobody's taking seriously. So you say enjoy the process all that time. And the fifth thing is like he say, of course to work to be take very seriously, but not so seriously. You will have you will screw up the work. So he says just before the show just chill and relax and do the show calmly. If it doesn't work, okay, do your preparation before it, but last 1 hour he will give you, generally he will not do rehearsals just day before the show. He will say chill, you guys go have fun. We had 1 month of rehearsals, just make sure you do everything, just do it that day. Otherwise we will be very tense to do it, we'll screw up most of the things.
Schooling, then you're found by Mithran, you're under him. and then you become this light designer. Then take us from there to CAT and
Yeah. So the thing is like in lighting design, Chennai has 3 strong divisions even with the lighting. One is the lighting where you see this Vijay Awards, ZTV Awards, it's grandeur lights with a lot of sets and with the television operators. So it's pretty much like because you're everything. So it's kind of ambience light. It's not like the shoot light will remain the same. Then the ambience whole thing changes. There is operators to it that way, one that way, and there is a event DJ. All those things are the secondary category, whereas people does lighting, but it's not meant to be occasionally connected to the event. It's not. It's going to be again the same thing. And the third where the performance line in comes with it. So I don't associate with the first 2 things, which I have a lot of friends and we are all well connected, but we are the one who's in the performing arts where we work within light exclusively for the show. So there is no way I'll sit in the console where the dancer or theatre happening. It's like it's no connected. Someone in the Park Sheraton will have a console, nothing to do with the event. The guys will sit and do the lights are rigged. There is a numbers. So performing arts, music and dance theatre, it's pretty much connected to the thing. So if you watch out all the performing artists all over the world, they totally belong to the third category. That's why they called us I went for ICCR trip, Indian Cultural Association. They called for Morocco and Kenya and a couple of places. I went for that tour with some of the productions. So we called for those productions. We invited for the national festivals and we tend to travel more actually. So it's more like very in line with the performing arts. So there will be a artist and there will be musicians, there are lighting designers. So that category where B comes in. So we work with a lot of dancers. It's more pretty much meaningful to us in a way. I mean, all other 2 also meaningful in many ways, but this is more.
I understand.
Yeah,
so,
identity ways. Yeah.
So you said artists and then performers and then the technicians, right? So in the last 2-3 years, so many things has changed. Suddenly, everything went online. Performance went online.
Everything
Carnatic concerts went online.
Even school classes are online.
Yeah, everything online, right? So after this, what do you think? Who takes precedence? The talent, the technician, the technology itself?
I personally, my suggestion will be, whatever people agrees or not, we are living in this technology ages. Look at our companies and look at our life. Everything is related to technology. I think technology is above us somewhere there, and the issue between technicians and the artists and talents, I think that itself, like if let's say I see so many bad shows, Zoom shows on theatre shows where like they will sitting and doing it pinadi, there is a towel and jetty were there in the back line. And even though how do you see, and there is ugly bureau, then there is one like unpainted wall, all those stuffs are there. Then there is a shows like where like you do the nice setting and production value, then the performer is doing it. I think pretty much comes with the mood saying, this is nice, the production value is nice. Recently there is a band called Oxygen. They were saying, we have sent couple of videos where amateurly shot and stuff. Those festival in Belgium, they said like, hey, just take this out. Then they properly shot with lights and set and stuff. They said like, this looks more professional, we'll have to pay you. But the same music, it pretty much, of course music or dance theatre is a core part, but where do you do, it's really matters. So I think it mostly gels with 2 other, then it makes results wise better. I mean like.
So it's a very thin line, Charles, because even in photography we have that problem, right? Now the phones are taking amazing pictures.
Yeah.
If the light and all is right, the phones take amazing pictures. They don't need a professional photographer to come and.
Yeah, even wedding there is some 30 cameras apart from the official photographer where like takes properly. These guys will be like.
So as the technology is
increasing, yeah.
Like as the technology is improving, the line between this professional thing and then this is thinning down, right?
Yeah.
So now for something to be very popular or to be sold, there is also this line where, do we need the technicians, do we need technology?
Yeah.
Right? So how do you handle it? How do you especially coming to theatre where commercials are always a grey area?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. See, to be honest, in Chennai theatre groups, everyone wants to do theatre, there is not much money in it. But how do they pay the lighting fellow? When he comes in, he asks a couple of money. So they try to do within themselves. So whatever output, good or bad, it comes, it really doesn't matter to them because they're not spending any penny on it. Then where like that's where the tricky part, where like if you're a good lighting designer, then people don't mind paying you, having you on board. They are coming to us. That is what like last 3-4 years, that is what happening. Whoever I work with, okay, they say, okay, I want your service and like you are good at lighting, so let's spend couple of money for it, and I want to have my show look good and I want to sync with all the performances. So they are calling us. So that's how it happens. So all these people will go away from us because a lot of they also have issues.
So what do you think, how are you balancing that thin line? How are you like, because I see all your shows are like almost sold out, right? And I also heard from so many people that your shows, artists are paid, it's very fair.
Okay.
So how are you able to balance this? Because it's a tough thing, right? Especially in theatre.
See, the thing is, like, of course, we all know cinema pays so much, but that itself, like, for the huge actors, not for the supporting actors, and other people don't get paid much. That is, system issues are there. In theatre or whatever stand-up and everything, we pay artists, but not that much. It is very, very, very little money. I mean, like, if you, but still, we are sustaining in one way where like all these people actually have a daytime, full-time jobs, and they very have passion to it, to jump in and do theatre or music or whatever stand-up, but there is no nurturing or patronage system or government supporting for this performing arts in Chennai. Even dancers, no, they have to pay all 6 musicians, mridangam, violin, everybody, then they are paying us, and they have to pay the lighting extra. So if they, for them to do a show, and in return what they're getting, Sabha secretary some 10,000 rupees. Every group in Chennai put their own money and do it. If they don't get in, like, sell out, means they're lost. I mean, like, they're gone for the.
So what gave you that guts to start Chennai?
Because I'm a technician, that lighting area, all the technicals I'm able to cut off because I have my own equipment. See, for theatre people to do a show, okay, actors are ready, script is ready. What they need next? Venue. And after that, what they need? Proper lights and sound, the technical area where comes in. So that technical area expenses where like I get cut off because I have my own equipment. I'll sit and operate. So then only paying for the venue. Then I thought also we are not very keen on a பயங்கரமான margin இல்லாம we try to cut down number of people.
So for somebody who wants to start and who is interested, who is fascinated about lighting, lights and all that, and wants to get into light design, and who is in Chennai or who is in areas like several other areas like Chennai in India, what will be your advice to them?
So initially you have a job, try and do it like part-time with starting with this. Then once you build your date of contact and people and stuff, then it's time to just leave it completely and do it. Since you are a proper lighting designer, you will be able to work with these 3 lines. Then you will do one award show one day, then you can do this, and there is plenty of opportunity. I think within a week itself, Chennai has easily 50 to 60 shows happening in a weekdays, including weekend. All these lighting related shows, I'm saying, like, okay, there's a scope. I get calls for so many people. Then you will somehow manage earning money for a full time itself, like initially. So you'll be able to do that. That's why we also do multiple things. So sometimes we also go work with Kamal Haasan, shoot for his thing, and something comes back and lighting. So we'll do vendor. So for me, equipments alone, I'll rent it out for the things. So that's how I make money, not only for operating. Otherwise, every dancer or theatre person has to do a show, then you will have a job. So otherwise, we wanted to be a little more self-independent, where like we bought our equipments and invested a couple of money, and we started our own producing house. So we have like a lot of this backfall where like to as a sustain.
So creating multiple streams of incomes.
Yes,
and
that works.
Trying out different things is one of the keys.
I think in Chennai, every actor has this backup of full-time job and doing a theatre. That is a huge thing. They're trying to do theatre.
So that is important, you're saying?
Initially, yeah, definitely. Then I think apart from it, I think the only way you being a full-time theatre actor, dancer, anybody is teaching it. The only through teaching you will get or monetarily income. Otherwise, I don't think there is no support system in Chennai, sadly. I mean, like, no one is interested to give any money for artists, all this. And like unless until there is only Sabha patronized system or private people comes and say, hey, I like your show, here's some money, you can do it something. Otherwise it's only the ticket sales. There is no avenue for it.
For somebody who is in theatre or arts, and how important is it to be also commercially intelligent? Because you said you found a way to do multiple things, and then those multiple things help me survive, right?
Survive, yeah.
But it is not easy for everyone.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Right?
it's very subjective thing.
Yeah,
of each person.
it's not very easy for everyone, right? To be commercially balanced or to be commercially intellectual, what should one do?
Like I say, you have to come up with a lot of backups, and while you're in it, you have to keep doing multiple things to get some avenue of money, because you can't rely on one such thing here in full time. So that's why we do producing shows, and we run the black box, and we do technical lighting and equipment and all those stuff together. So whoever comes in, they have to come up with a proper backup, and of course they have a good enough family to support, and like any other art thing, it's a good thing, but a good supporting partner. So
I'll rephrase the question. How are you associated, or how do you come up with so many different different ideas and different concepts? How are you always surrounded with different concepts? What is the core? Hey, I do this because of this. I get so many ideas, and I surround myself with so many concepts.
one thing is a huge fear of a survival, like basically, because what if you run out of shows, and what will you know, nobody will call you tomorrow saying, yeah man, like we will do our own things, like that survival
Necessity is the mother of
yeah. Then also the time where we live in, everything get updated, right? So you're gonna say, oh, I'm doing one theatre show, you come and watch it. People are not gonna bother. I say, hey, I watched the same thing last month itself. So the world needs new things. They don't want to watch erotica twice, or they don't want to watch theatre binge twice. They need a new things to come and watch it. So in that aspect, you wanted to just curate like different shows. So you tend to force and put your head through so much and say, this sounds interesting and this work interesting. Then we have to, that pressure is pretty much there.
So that pressure or that fear is what is driving.
Yes, absolutely. Otherwise you will be doing the same show. I think people one or twice they come, then they say it's boring, the same thing they are doing it, so they'll get bored. So you keep curating new shows because of the social pressure. And like
Yeah. So I think that's a good pressure.
So I want to ask you, so how do you do so many things? I mean, like you have like multiple hats and identity towards not only just photographer. You do so many things. I've been watching it. So how do you handle such a huge thing?
So I don't know if you know about my story. I was in IT for 7-8 years.
Okay.
And then I quit and wanted to get into something that is interesting, right? Like I wanted to basically do things that I love to do.
Okay.
So photography was the primary thing, and then I dabbled into photography, and I was concentrating on it for several years, right?
Okay.
And then once I got to a stage where I have team and I have people and I have resources, I have all the other things, I said, okay, I'm not going to stop here, and I'm going to do all the things that I love to do. So it's just finding things that makes you happy and doing it. And also some of the things I do are also connected to the purpose.
Okay.
Why am I a photographer? Why was I not something else, right? Because photography was not in my life at all.
Okay.
It just showed up suddenly. Why did it show up? There is some reason behind it, right?
Okay.
So can I use that to solve those
Things.
purposes and find those reasons and help? So that's why I dabble into like culture. I take pictures of people who don't have portraits, right? So or I get into things that, see, dance portraits is something that I do, is very popular, right? And, so
it's
for
very
so many
interesting.
years,
I mean, like
for so many years, dancers did not have proper pictures. And they are supposed to have proper pictures. So yeah, that's what I do. I pick up things that makes me really happy, and pick up things that needs my service, and I do it.
I mean, like I was like very attracted to some of your photographs where like you, I think Kerala Mohiniyattam something in the water or something. Not sure. The image was there was really captured. So just like shooting in a flow where like you're comfortable with the lights and things. How do you got like so much idea was like because the other one is at the beach I think with other dancers not somebody and other also a lot of interesting one is your Odyssey one you use completely light. So where do you get this concept where like that is why I think more interesting otherwise it will be photos are good I mean taking in a nice backdrop and taking it it's good.
So my thing is it comes from several directions, right? So one thing is can I not take the usual road that everybody is taking?
Okay.
So if you think of a photographer's journey, right, what they'll do, they'll pick up the camera, go find some friends to shoot, they'll practice with them, and then find some models, shoot them, post it in social media, and that is the journey, right? And especially with social media, with likes and all other things, oh, if I shoot some popular person, I'll become really popular and
you're standing on the shoulder saying I'm really tall.
and photographers end up doing the same thing, right? So okay, everybody is taking this path. Can I not take it? Can I take a different path and see who else need pictures? And there are, if you think like that, right, you'll find so many avenues where your service will be like very unique. You'll be really different from others. Honestly, it is easy to become a photographer these days, right? Because the technology is so
much
good.
Things are available.
So good. You pick up a camera today, next week you're a photographer. Whether you're a good photographer, bad photographer is a different story. But it is not the case with an actor. It is not the case with a musician. It is not the case with dancer. Like I cannot say next week I'll become a Bharatanatyam dancer, right? I cannot become a Bharatanatyam dancer next week. I cannot become a violinist next week. Right? It needs years and years of practice. Before even going and showing up in the stage. Right? So, somebody is giving so many years for their art form, and it's not like they are making huge loads of money. Many of them are like doing it for passion, right? So I want to work with them, give them nice pictures, and that is how I got this.
Even one of the shoots where I saw Sparshoda, Pravinoda, that was really interesting because I never seen such Mridangam and Sparsh in a very way because he had couple of shoots before, but this one was very interesting as an image. I really loved it.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm picking up different things from different places and seeing how we can mix it up and come with something new.
Nice.
So going back to your thing, what is the future of CAT? What is the future of Mithran Foundation? And how are you thinking of the social angle?
So Mithran Foundation, where like Mithran used to run a thing called Anja project, where he really helped a lot of underprivileged children when he was alive, and he was doing massive things. So from that, like he's been supporting a lot of people, and like that time including us. So after he passed away, then I thought like someone should continue this because of like his thing. And I think right now I just founded it. I didn't do much, but there is a girl called Tenmoli, and she's the one who running it till now. And she's been built a couple of very SC, ST, like in the very rural villages, a lot of people, schools, and we are still providing a lot of sanitary napkins for those areas, hygienic areas, and a lot of children's and everything. She's been doing like 2 villages, we've been doing it, and she got some vehicle and everything for it. So
it is not yet in art and all that.
No, this is completely NGO process where like a lot of patrons comes and support us, and every weekend, and she's teaching in some school in Bain school. So every weekend she gets time, she takes some donor and visit those people, and people give them rice and whatever. She give you a list of and give you soap and this is what I need and all those stuff, and people give them medicine and everything. So she's the one who running completely of Mithran Foundation and doing everything. We are just a backup supporters where like we tend to do that.
So what's your what's the future of CAT? What are you trying to do? What is the direction that you are taking?
So through Medai, we wanted to support performing arts. We are not only doing a commercial shows. We had like all kind of shows we wanted to support. Folk, there is an energy healing show, there is a shapeshifter show, there is a stand-up comedy. Not in a sense like stand-up comedy, in a sense not all the SA Alex's, but there are like upcoming comedians are there, and they wanted to set their trial. They'll only have 10 people in the audience. So, but the theatre groups are not all the groups fill audience. So they want to do new stuff. So Mayday will be always open for those people to try a new stuff, and like in Chennai.
Medai is your the space.
Yes, yeah. So through Mayday and like we wanted to support all the performing arts, especially, and to have all their shows and rehearsals, especially theatre, dance, music, everything stand up. That is our vision. So we just started with it. We're hosting a lot of things, and people are also booking the space and doing their own things. We are trying to support whatever we can. So we wanted to do this continuously. So
Nice.
that is one vision. Yeah.
Nice, man. Amazing. Good luck with everything that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
It's
you so
awesome, and I personally learned a lot of things.
Thank you.
And we should do something together.
Yeah,
just for the fun of lighting.
Yeah.
And
So we are right now we are doing one fundraiser called Revive Live Arts. So we wanted to support a lot of people who got affected in Corona because they didn't have shows and ran out of shows. Nothing. There is no pretty much shows.
What kind of artists?
All kind of artists, not only folk people. There is a lot of where Carnatic musicians. There is a lot of theatre artists, a lot of stand-up comedians. Everyone ran out of shows. So we only wanted to stick it with one art form, either urban art form or village folk forms. We wanted to keep it as an art form. So we wanted to give everybody a chance. Okay, let's say today, this week, we will have a folk show, we'll supporting that person. Next week, we'll have stand-up comedy. So we want to see everyone under the one thing. So we want to give it to all the artists and raising a fund for it. So hopefully, if we get a
Nice,
fund,
man. Please give us the link. We'll put it under
yeah,
the video.
we'll do.
And
Sure.
whoever is watching, if they want to
They
do
can
something,
contribute.
it'll be amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Charles.
you, thank
It's
you.
a wonderful, wonderful session, and I hope the viewers also got something out of this.
Thank
and we'll be in touch.
Hopefully.
And,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
let's do something amazing.
we'll do.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching this for so long. And if you specifically took away some points, please put that in the comments so others can read those comments and also get away something out of this. Until we see you in the next episode, thank you. Bye bye.